Hello everyone and welcome once again to the Deiser Connection. How you doing? I hope you're doing great. Today we have a special episode because we have invited one of the most recognizable faces in the Atlassian ecosystem and in the Atlassian Creators program. And we're talking about Alex Ortiz. You may know Alex Ortiz from different YouTube channels. For example, Apetech Tutorials, in which he creates video tutorials about different aspects in Jira. You may also know Alex from the Jira Live, that together with the Jira guy, Rodney Nielsen, hey Rodney, and Robert Wen, hey Bob, they created the Jira Live, which is a weekly stream podcast in YouTube that brings together the Atlassian community in a really cool, and nice way. We talked about different topics. For example, what he does as a Jira administrator, Atlassian announcements from Atlassian Team 24, which was 3 weeks ago. We talked about the future of Atlassian, among other things. It was a really good chat, and we hope that you find this interesting and insightful. And if you don't know Alex yet, I don't know who doesn't know Alex, please check it out, and maybe you'll find his insights interesting, much insightful, and maybe you will go and check his videos out. So without further ado, let's go and check out the interview with Alex. See you now. So, as I mentioned before, here today in the Deiser Connection, Alex Ortiz is joining us for a nice interview. Hello, Alex. How's it going?
Hi, how are you? I'm really good.
Good, nice. So, you might know Alex from the YouTube videos, Apetech Tech Tutorials, that are in YouTube. You might know him also for the Jira Live. And you might know him also for the live courses, the Jira live courses, right? The free courses, introduction for Jira. So, apart from all these YouTube videos, that you're doing, and you have won, how you say, prizes too, yeah, there you go. That's it. There you have it. You have won prizes. Apart from that, what is your daily job?
I spend 12 to 14 hours every day in Jira, just helping people, answering questions, making content. I'm just in the tool all day.
Nice. That's pretty good. So if you have any questions about Jira, you know who you have to ask.
Something like that, yeah.
Cool. So okay, so from your point of view, as a Jira admin right now, how are you seeing Jira, and the Atlassian platform? How are you seeing it every day? Is it a good tool in order to work? Can you handle all those requests? And
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I like to tell people Jira is a gift and a curse.
mm-hmm.
It's a gift because it's so powerful, so customizable. It can literally do anything. I don't think that there's a specific use case that I would say, Jira might not be appropriate. I've made Jira do a lot of interesting things, and it's just so powerful, right? And then that's the gift, but it's also the curse because since it's so infinitely customizable, you kind of need to know what you're doing a little bit to really succeed with just the configurations and making sure you're just doing things correctly or in a scalable way.
Nice. That's a really interesting answer, because also I've seen Jira do several things, and from my colleagues, and the different use cases that they implement Jira to, it's quite a big range, there's quite a big range of use cases.
Oh yeah,
So
I've configured Jira for like a CRM for a tax accountant. We use, my wife and I and my kids, we use it for homeschooling our kids. So we have all their homework and their assignments and projects and stuff. It's all in there. They have the calendar view and everything, so my sons know exactly when things are due and when they got to do things by. And all that good stuff. And we've used it for managing the YouTube videos, managing the Jira Live. So things that are not a traditional technical role, we're definitely leveraging the power here of Jira to keep us organized.
Nice. So that brings me into a segue, because there's been several announcements in the last Atlassian Team, Atlassian Team 24, and one of those announcements was that they will merge Jira Software and Jira Work Management into one Jira, and from your Jira administrator point of view, how will that impact you? Is there anything that you would like to see? Anything that you would like to say about it? Because
a couple of things came to mind. So I'll give you my initial reaction as I was watching it during the keynote. And the first thing that I saw was like, oh boy, the UI is changed. So all of my videos, I have about 600 videos that I published. All of them have to be redone now.
Okay.
So from that perspective, from just my straight content creator's hat, like Jira is evolving, and it's evolving in probably one of the most significant ways that I've seen since at least 2020. Right? I don't think I've seen a change this big to the UI since at least 2020. And so it is a significant change. Like they got rid of the navigation bar. It's gone. It's on the side now. We're back to 2020 cloud version of Jira.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so it is a pretty big shift, and I think it's going to be from an administrative perspective. I don't anticipate too many changes. I think workflow is still going to be a workflow, custom field is still going to be a custom field, screens are still going to be screens, but I think from an end user and how we train and teach our teams, that's changing. That's okay. I think it's going to have a bigger impact on the end user than on the administrator.
Okay, nice. Yes, I see also a big impact in the end user, but I wanted your opinion, because since you're a big Jira admin, that's super interesting. And maybe moving on a little bit to our other announcements. Remember that we had another announcement that was the instant service desk, that with natural language you could ask to Atlassian Intelligence in order to create a service desk for every team in your company. That's something that I will really like to see, but I believe that there has to be someone with strong will also, in order to how you say,
aim it.
aim it, or I don't know, or maybe stop someone from okay, maybe you're not the right team in order to have a service desk. What do you think about that?
I'm very conflicted with this one. Couple of reasons. The selfish reason is a lot of my job is spent architecting a JSM solution for someone, and that kind of gets pushed aside a little bit because you can just simply have artificial intelligence make it for you, which I can enjoy, I can appreciate, I can respect that help. But I still see the big problem that I think a lot of people might not be seeing yet, and this is a problem that we see in team managed projects, which is you don't know what you don't know. And to the untrained individual, it is very easy for now people to, I don't want to use the word hurt themselves because there's no physical damage, but you are enabling any user, right? Millions of users that use the Atlassian tool suite, you're allowing them to basically create whatever they want. And that's not necessarily a good thing, because there's so many different ways to create and utilize and leverage the power of Jira, like we discussed moments ago at the beginning, right? But with great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly.
I spend my entire day knowing and learning and understanding how Jira works, so that when somebody asks me for a Jira JSM portal, I can guide them and coach them in the right direction.
Correct.
And the AI assistant is not going to fight back, right? It's going to do what you tell it to do. And that might not necessarily be something that's scalable. It might not necessarily be something that's the right solution long-term. It might not be the right solution, period, because you're still translating English into Jira,
Yeah.
which is not always intuitive, right? And so there might be some mistakes there. But I'm excited from a like a writer's block type of thing, right? Because one of the biggest challenges I usually have is just getting started. Like, where do we even go with the requirement, right? But so I can see me as an admin kind of feeding it an original, like a starting point of like, hey, this is kind of what I want, and then tweaking from there, because I don't think it's going to be 100% ready for what I'm going to need it. But I'm more fearful for the people that are going to say, we don't need a Jira admin anymore. We're just going to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
They'll be okay for 6 months, maybe 12 months. But as their company grows and scales and just gets more mature, I think these things are just going to be like a team managed project where like they have a limit. They're not as customized as something that I would have architected for a long-term solution.
Good. That's a really good point of view too, because I'm always interested, in allowing the users to create anything in Jira. For example, in this case, a service desk for their team, which is something that is quite big. Or already thinking about just a service desk for a team, it requires some kind of configuration, and yes, I think that there might be some kind of needing to not control, but maybe ask the users what do they need, instead of them writing down in the AI what they need, and the AI creating it. But it's super interesting anyways.
But I'm more concerned about the AI is not going to fight back.
It's not going to fight back, right? It's not gonna put any. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's really the part that concerns me the most, right? Because when you're building out a service desk, it really is a negotiation between the person requesting and the admin. And I always tell new Jira administrators, I'm like, the hardest part about being a Jira admin isn't knowing how to add a status or add a custom field, right? It's understanding when and where to say no, and understanding the power of Jira, but knowing how to wield that power to create something that's going to live, right? Because just creating a Jira project for the sake of creating a Jira project, and in this case, a portal, right? The end user, and I don't want to throw shade or make it sound negative, right? But I've seen thousands of projects over my career, and the one that gets me right here is the one where like it's a Jira project for a sprint. Like, why would you create a whole Jira project for just one sprint or one release? When Jira projects are long living, right? They're designed to do multiple sprints, to release multiple iterations and have even concurrent releases, right? But again, the end users don't know that. They just know that immediate little need. And so I'm afraid that you're going to end up with thousands of service desk projects in a Jira instance because it solved that one little problem that one person had. Exactly. And it's just too powerful in the wrong hands.
Yes. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And about creating, and having a lot of assets, a lot of maybe things created in your Jira, do you think that robo and robo agents will kind of help you understand your Jira admin's actions and then act upon deleting, for example, maybe you have workflows that haven't been used in so long that robo maybe, identifies them and deletes them. Do you think that robo, which is the other announcement, will help you do that?
So that's interesting because I hadn't thought about that. So last week I did get a chance to speak to one of the product managers in charge of Robo here. Yes. And we talked a lot about Robo and got her perspectives. And she's been I haven't touched Robo yet. Most of us just know what like the common information that was shared, but she's been working on it for months, right? 9-10 months-ish, right? So obviously she's had a lot more insight as to like what it can do and can't do. And the biggest takeaway that I got from her is it's really there for discovery, right? It's going to be there to help you, but it was more from the user perspective. I didn't get a whole lot of admin vibes, but I got it from you. And the best example that I think we got out of this conversation was like, if you're a new employee at a company, right? And they're like, here's our company, here's our software. go learn it.
Yeah.
You're like, where do I start? Right? And Robo is going to be great to like, oh, here's an acronym. What's this mean? And it'll show you every page, and it'll show you the right information. And it'll be like, so you'll be like, ooh, that's interesting. What does that mean? And so it'll take you this way. And you're like, coding standards. What's the coding standard? So you ask it, what are these companies' coding standards? It'll show you the coding standards, right? So it's really good on this like rabbit hole of self-discovery with the data. Okay. What we definitely did not discuss would be, what does it look like from an admin perspective, right? What does it look like from unused projects, unused workflows, unused statuses, unused custom fields, right? Because all of these things technically under the hood are tracked, right? There's metadata for when's the last time a field was used, or which projects are using a workflow and which workflows are just empty, right? So there's a lot of data there, but I'd be curious not to bring her back and ask her, because it wasn't something that was discussed, and at least not that I'm aware of, unless you have the info that I might not have.
No, I don't have information about that. I wish I had, and if I had, I would share it with you, because I believe that it's that knowledge should be shared.
I forget who I was talking to. I think it was Funman Andy Barker here. We were talking about like that would be a great application of AI, though, right? Like if AI can say, hey, Alex, here's a Jira that you just inherited, right?
Yep.
Here's all the inefficiencies with it, right?
Yes, exactly.
But it asks a very interesting question that Andy and I kind of pondered on, and I'd like to ask you, see what you think.
Yeah.
Who's to say, or in this case, what is to say?
Yeah.
What is efficient and not efficient? Like,
yes.
For there to be an efficiency, there needs to be a baseline that says this is a good workflow. This is a good status. This is a status that's needed, because it's not just a matter of saying like these workflows are not used or these statuses are not used. That's okay. That's trivial. I think a kindergartner can do that. But the more meaningful thing would be, hey, AI, is this workflow good? Yes. Did I make a good workflow? Do I have a bad workflow, right? Exactly. And I don't think that there's a baseline for what good is today. Like if you were to ask 50 Jira admins, what is a good workflow? You're going to get 50 different answers.
Yes.
Right? So how can AI help me there?
Yeah. I really think that AI can help you there to monitorize actions, and try to learn, about what actions do users use. Maybe this status, I don't know. I believe in the actions too. If someone hasn't used a transition or a status for a long time, if this project has a status, has a transition that is not being used, maybe it's not working properly, maybe you can pass it, maybe it doesn't have the correct conditions in order to, and maybe it can suggest, maybe, I don't know, identify that, loose end, and try to figure out how, with all the information that someone also, you're correct, you're super correct when saying that there's a base, that the AI needs to follow something, because there's also human interaction. There's always going to be, and this is something that I talked with Andy, with Fam and Andy too, and with Manon in one of our latest episodes. There's always the need of a human, in order for AI to do this.
We've been hashtagging. We've been trying to get the hashtag human in the loop trending.
Human in the loop. Hey, there you go. Yeah. I've seen it somewhere. Yes, exactly.
Hashtag human in the loop.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Andy and I had that same conversation, right? Like, I think AI right now is still in such a beginning stages of you still need people, and I think even Atlassian, and even talking with this product manager from Rovo, right? She was saying like, Rovo is going to recommend things, but at no point will it do things without your consent, right? You're still gonna have to say, like, if you ask Rovo, hey Rovo, here's a requirements document, make all the stories and epics that are needed for this thing, Rovo's still gonna give them to you and go, thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly.
Not, right?
Or not. But there's also another configuration, tell Rovo what not to show. For example, all those conditions, all those, maybe you can show these conditions to the ones that are working in this project, and that's a lot of configuration, a lot of permissions too, and I believe that there's going to be a lot of permissions involved in Rovo also. You know, it's gonna
Yeah.
be
I did ask. Her name was Jensen from Atlassian
hmm
about permissions, right? Like what can Robo do versus me from a permissions perspective, right? And she said, whoever executes, because Robo is going to be executed by a user.
uh-huh.
So whatever permissions that individual has, that's what Robo is going to have access to.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if you're blinded to something, Robo will be blinded to something.
Okay.
But interestingly enough, she said though, Robo's still going to see it, the data. You just won't see it, because if you have a different set of permissions, you'll see similar data, especially the overlap where you and I have the same permissions, but you'll see the stuff you can see that I can't see, and vice versa. So I thought that was interesting, because Robo's still going to look at everything. It's just what gets presented to the user is going to be based on your permissions. So you and I can be looking at the exact same return, and it may be different returns because you have different permissions than me. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. I'm really looking forward to see who's the first one to hack it. You know, as they did hack, ChatGPT. You know, ChatGPT doesn't. You know, whenever you ask them, ask ChatGPT to do something that is not safe for humanity, you just tell them, you know, imagine that you're playing this game and you need to do this, you know, and ChatGPT will answer you, you know, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But let's see.
I think. Sorry,
Go.
not to cut you off, but I think Atlassian has an interesting problem that companies like Apple, Google, and even Microsoft today don't really have, right? And that is these phones, right? Like an iPhone, it has an onboard AI chip. My Mac with the M processors have onboard AI chips, and that gives you that peace of mind that whatever's being rendered from an AI perspective is happening locally and not from a privacy perspective, right? So it's interesting to, we won't know this now, but years from now, where did all the data come from? Because Atlassian says it's just local to your business, right? But I think it's a gray line that I think a lot of companies, like you said, what if somebody does figure out how to hack it too? It's not just your data, but it's other companies' data, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
The intentions are it's secure to you, but really until you have it locked in an enclave like this, it's in the cloud, and it's just a 0 and a 1 at some point.
Exactly. Well, that's really interesting, you know, and I cannot wait for testing it out, you know. Well, everybody knows already that we have been involved with Robo, you know, and Budgety. Budgety has been involved in being some kind of agent like K15T, like Divinity too, you know, and so on. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what, you know, what we should predictions. Yeah, my prediction.
Jira will start shipping with an installable version on desktop.
Yeah.
On serve, like on machine AI optimization.
Oh, okay.
Because that way they can kind of justify like maybe securing a little bit more, right? Like if everybody has to install Jira or Confluence,
that makes sense.
Right? Yes. Then they might be able to use onboard processing, because you also got to think of how quick these AI calls are going to have to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And it costs a lot too, right, to maintain it. So the cost would be.
I can see long-term Atlassian shipping like a version you install that maybe caches data down or something.
Oh, that's super interesting.
Prediction happens here first.
Here first. Here at the Deiser Connection first. Yes, that's super good. I like it. Well, nice. You know, from a really technical point of view, that's super interesting, man. That's super cool. Well, and I don't know if it's predictions, but in order to for the future, what do you think that Atlassian is going for in the future? We're seeing Jira getting together. We're seeing a lot of AI usage. You know, is there some other prediction? Is there any other thing that you would like to see or looking forward to seeing Atlassian do?
I am worried.
Okay.
Worry is the first word that comes to my mind. And we'll go back and touch a point that I forgot to mention at the beginning when you asked me this merger between software and work management, right? What does that look like? I'm worried because at one point, right, Jira will be too big, right? And we've seen this song before. Apple with iTunes, right? It started with the music store. They added music videos. Then they added movies and TV shows and ebooks and apps. And at one point, iTunes did everything. And what did Apple do? They just destroyed it. And now you got Apple Music. You got the podcast app. You got
verticals. You know, yeah, exactly.
So I see Atlassian. I think the intentions are with good heart, right? Of like, hey, we just want to make this integrated system that just works. And not only just works, because right now, right, if you're completely new to the world of Jira and you want to get started with Jira, there's a path. It's a rocky path. Team managed projects, right? Or Jira work management if you're not technical. But you're blurring a line that I'm not happy with. Because Jira is a great tool because of Agile, right? Because of the epics, because of the stories, because of the structure and the framework around Agile. But you're kind of taking that away.
Yeah.
The takeaway I got from this presentation was Agile is dead.
Yeah.
Right? When Anu is basically saying you don't need an epic because not everybody uses an epic. I'm like, you just introduce chaos into an uncertain world, because the epic, as bad of a rep that it gets, the epics and the stories give you that structure that you need to understand a philosophy that has been proven for the last 20, 30 years, right? But that took a back seat in the presentation that I saw. Right.
Yes.
I didn't see Agile being as dominant, right? This is why you buy Jira software today.
Yeah.
It's for the agileness of it. Otherwise, you get Jira work management, right? But when they're both the same and Agile's not front and center with it, like, I think I see anarchy.
Yeah, exactly. But I see you as a really structured man. You know, you have everything in Jira, you know, and this is structure, right? That's as you said before, it is structure, it is architecture. Architecture needs a structure, you know, and the agile framework, the agile mindset, you know, needs a lot of structure, even though it's agile, you know, in order for everything to fall down. You know, but that's also a really good point of view.
So that's why my answer is I worry, because
you're worried.
I don't know how the world's going to react. All I know is that I don't typically trust my end users to know what they want.
Yes.
But when now it's an infinite world of possibilities, like, I'm even more worried because nobody out there's evangelizing the best practices.
Exactly.
Right? I haven't seen, like, here's how you do Jira. In fact, one of my most popular videos is how to use story points in Jira.
Points, right?
And the reason that video is so popular wasn't because of the message, but because of the comments of everybody having so many different opinions on how to use story points. That the algorithm on YouTube's like, this is a phenomenal video. Everybody needs to see this video, right?
Exactly, because of the comments. Yes.
It was just because of the comments of everybody, like, having so many different opinions on what a story point is. Now imagine if we have that much conversation, that many differences of opinions on a structured question like story points that is very well documented. Imagine when now you ask the question, what is Jira? At that point,
at some point, well, that's a
it could be anything now, right?
Like, that's anything.
What Atlassian's doing. Atlassian's like, Jira can be whatever you want it to be now.
Yes,
and I just see anarchy.
Anarchy, right? Yeah, it's and no structure at all. Yeah, exactly.
But I see why though, right? Because you have your Monday, you have your Asana, you have your ClickUp. Those are structureless projects or products that let you track whatever you want. But I also see that's why they haven't picked up as well as Jira, because Jira was so foundational to that agile alignment that every software team was doing. But I think the software market has saturated. I think anybody who is a software company is using Jira today. And now they're trying to reach the rest of that market, which I wouldn't have done it that way.
Okay, cool. Well, see, I knew that your opinions were gonna be super interesting, you know, because you have a lot of insight. You've been working with Jira for so many years, you know, and I knew that you were gonna provide us with some rich insight. You know, it's really cool, you know. And I think that the main title will be how Alex sees Jira as anarchy now. No, but it's
Hey
nice.
man,
It's
I'm
nice.
friends. I'm friends with the CEOs now, man.
Yeah, exactly. You're friends with the CEO, so
They're
nah,
gonna
don't
kick
worry.
me out of the. I'm trying to
No,
get into the inner
no.
circle for next year.
Yeah, exactly. It's for no, don't worry, don't worry. It's nice, but it's also, if you're worried about it, because we love Atlassian, we love Jira, but we're also their biggest, how you say, when we don't like something about Jira, we have to say it, and when we're seeing some kind of path on this, we have to say it. Maybe at some point, maybe they listen to us, but I don't know if they listen.
And I'm not just trying to say that I don't like Jira, right? I'm just worried about where it's going.
Yeah,
But I also see new opportunities, right?
of course.
So Mark Kruth and I talked about these new opportunities because one thing that I think you might find interesting is we were talking about the shift from being a Jira admin, managing a workflow of statuses, and that skill set is going to have to shift from that technical aspect to that of an architect.
Yes.
How do you conjure up a Jira for your specific business needs? So you're really going to have to not just know the technical insights of how Jira works, but now you're going to have to understand how to drive results across so many different businesses of so many different types and tailor the tool to help them drive results. But that is a much harder skill. You can't teach that.
Exactly. That's not.
But that's what you're gonna have to shift to, right? Because again, with the world of infinite possibilities, somebody's gonna look for that magic pill that you can take and have Jira work for you. But nobody has those pills today.
Nobody has them. Nobody has them.
You'll have to start making some pills. So guess who's gonna be pioneering that?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's pretty cool. That's nice. Oh, that was really a really long and nice answer, because it's as I said before, it's really nice to hear what you have to say about this, all this knowledge, and what about your future? Are you planning on more videos? Is there another 24-hour stream, with the Jira Live? What's the plans with that?
First immediate plan, right now I'm kind of building a buffer.
Nice.
As I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna have to redo all 600 videos.
Yes.
That UI is not out yet, so I do not. I was getting to a point where I was gonna start over because a lot of my videos are 2 years old.
Yeah.
And every day I learn more about Jira because every day, literally without fail, I have a notebook where I track every hour that I spend in Jira, and my knowledge and intimacy of how the tool works evolves every single day, right? And so things and ideas and ways of using Jira that I had 12, 14, 18, 24 months ago, drastically different than what I would think of right now. So it's been in my mind to kind of jumpstart all my videos, right? Because I have a much different solid understanding of an epic today than I did 18 months ago when I launched what is an epic video, right? So much more different. I've had so much more applications of seeing epics be used in a valuable business case, right? So I want to redo all my videos. So that's kind of on my horizon where I am right now. I don't know if I have it here handy. Actually, I do. I am documenting. I have the next list of. I do everything on paper still, and then it goes.
Oh
into Jira.
yeah, what?
But I have the potential Jira ideas,
Nice.
and I have about 2 pages. Oops, 1 page here.
Yeah.
I have all the.
Those are potential ideas.
These,
right?
these are all. Every single one of these items is one video idea.
Oh my!
That I have, right? And so lots and lots of videos that I have planned, right? But I'm in a weird pattern where I don't want to redo the videos in 6 months when they release the new UI. So I'd rather be patient and wait until the new UI comes out. So right now I'm doing an interview series, which I believe you're going to be a part of.
Yes.
So the summer Jira, the summer Jira kicks off in a week. Well, I'm not sure when you're publishing this, but it's kicking off May 27th.
Cool. Nice.
So it'll be 100 days of summer. So about 100 days between May 27th and September 5th or something like that.
Okay, nice.
And it's going to be 45 interviews with various folks all across the industry here. We're going to do 15 interviews with partners like you, Deiser, right? Just K15, stuff like that. There's going to be 15 interviews with community leaders, also you. Okay?
Nice.
Champions. And then it's going to be 15 interviews of just talks. There's a lot of folks that have good ideas that just never see the light of day, don't really have a platform. I get 120,000 views on my channel every month.
Nice.
Right, so great platform, lots of people coming through my channel. So I figured community driven, like let's just open it up for folks to present, right? They have ideas.
And those ideas, would you give us an example of one of those great ideas?
Yeah, so Brittany has a good one on Trello, right? Like how to use Trello.
Yes.
For like all the crazy automations and stuff that she has.
Nice.
I think she had a great idea there. I'm hoping to get with like Mark Cruz, do something about teamwork.
Nice.
and stuff there. I'm hoping to get with Chris Cook. He doesn't know yet, but I'm hoping Chris Cook.
But he'll come up with a good idea.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get something along the lines of like on his tagline of like, I've led 2 successful marketplace vendors to platinum or whatever he has on his thing, right? But like, what does it take to build an app? Like, what is that? What are the challenges, right? What is that journey to self-discovery there? So those are kind of the talks that we're looking for. I'm going to open it up for, obviously the people that volunteer to talk about whatever they want, but that's kind of the idea there. And then the rest of the videos are going to be filled in with just product announcements, right? Like Jira's doing this, smaller videos that, again, because I'm going to start over fresh, right? I'm starting over with like, what is Jira?
Yeah.
But I want to wait till, I don't want to do what is Jira today, and then by July 1st, like Atlassian releases this new one and it's now the same, so now I gotta go redo it. Because I'm as you see, I'm structured, right? I like corners. I like starting in a corner and working from a corner, right? I don't like jumping into the middle of a mess. And so I want to start at the beginning of something. And to me, the beginning is, what is Jira? My answer is going to change as soon as they merge Jira software with Jira work management. So I'm intentionally delaying that chapter of my life until I have a better answer.
Nice. That's perfect. That's a good plan, really structured, and congratulations on that. And what about the Jira Life? Are you going to still have a summer, during the summer, are you going to still have the Jira Life?
Yeah, so the Jira Life keeps going. So the Jira Life is a very interesting thing, and I shared this with a couple of people at Team. So in case you're not aware, right, the Jira Life is a podcast that we do, and it's significantly different than my YouTube channel, right, and probably even significantly different than what you have with your podcast here, right? Because the Jira Life is really fostering the community portion of it, right? With my channel, I mentioned 115,000 views, right, every month. I don't interact with those people. Those people, they know me, but I don't know any of them, right? There's some 80,000 unique viewers that come to my channel every month. I don't know who any of those people are, right? They just come, they get value out of the videos, and they go. But with the Jira Life, it's the same people every week.
Yes.
Right. And we're building this community, right? Right now on LinkedIn, I don't know if you participated on the taco discussion.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yes, I did.
And the taco discussion, I don't know if you know, but I think it was right before or was it during your conversation?
Yeah, it was right before me, but then the conversation went long enough
carried over into yours,
for you to ask me about that.
Yeah, so during that 24-hour live stream, right, 23 hours or 22, 23 hours into a 24-hour cycle, we were tired. Yes. And one of the members of our community came in, he asked, like, is a taco a sandwich? And that just like triggered me, woke me up, gave me that boost of energy that I needed on that 23rd hour. And it has now become a thing that we got trending in the Atlassian community. Everybody's talking about this like conundrum of, is a taco a sandwich or not? And it's just like, you don't get that anywhere else within the Atlassian ecosystem, right? Like the relationships and the friendships, right? Like being at Teams this year, it was like being with people that I've been with every day.
Yeah.
But I only see them once a year.
Yeah, exactly.
But like from an outside observer, you wouldn't have guessed that we've only seen each other once a year.
Yeah, like exactly.
We're together working in the same office, right?
Exactly. So, there's a community there. There's a camaraderie. There's friendship, even, and it was really nice. I've met a lot of people, that I talk to every week, in the community, and it was really nice. And I'm really glad that something like the Jira Live came to life, because it brings up the community,
Yeah, and that's
with exactly.
but you're nailing the point. That's the point of the Jira Life, right? Is to really foster those relationships and those friendships.
Yeah.
And it's so much more than just Rodney and I talking with a guest, right? It's really what happens outside the scenes, and that's what I'm most proud about the Jira Life here.
Yeah, and the Peanut Gallery also makes a lot of work in order to do that. It's pretty good.
From the beginning, it was very intentional. So Rodney and I, to give you a little bit of insight, because I don't know that anybody's ever asked Rodney and I, like, how did the Jira Life come to be?
Yeah, well, so how did the Jira Life came to be?
So the Jira Life started. It started in Team 23, and it wasn't really the Jira Life then, right? It was Rodney and I brought a microphone to Teams, right? I brought just I had a microphone with me, and I told Rodney, I'm like, well, I've been carrying this microphone around for 3 days, and I haven't used it. Like, let's just talk about what happened. Like, let's just the announcements and everything, right? And so we jump on, and it's like super loud, like you can hear all the noises and everything, super blurry, and we just talked about the releases. And after that, so that was like mid-April, right? The Jira Life officially launched end of May 2023. So we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary next week. Nice. And so for like 6 weeks, Roddy and I were like, what do we do? Like, how do we do this? We're both busy. We don't have time. He's a writer. He doesn't like being in front of camera. I don't have time to make even more videos, right? So like, how do we do this in such a way that like we do this, right? And so I was like, I had a dopey idea because my channel rose to success because I live stream every week. Yeah. So I told Rodney, I'm like, let's not record. Let's just do it. like live.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was like, that could work because then we just need 1 hour out of our day. So there's no editing. There at least up until middle of this year, there was no scripting. There was no anything, right? Like we just turn on the cameras and we talked.
Nice.
And so the reason that is those because again of our schedules and timing and resources and stuff like that. So that's just kind of how it came to be. We just wanted a place to kind of share our opinions.
Exactly. Because every week you have some kind of news about Atlassian, about Jira,
Yeah, but it didn't start that way either, though. Like we didn't really. We started kind of teaching people how to use Jira.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's nice.
It just evolved naturally as opportunities present themselves. I think it was like end of summer where we're like, you know what, we should have a segment. Because I was thinking like, I have this giant long video, but I can't chop it up because there's no logic to it, right? Me and the structure, man. So I was like, well, we create segments and I can chop up a 1 hour video and I can make like 5 little ones that I can publish throughout the week. And so we started like, well, that's not a bad idea. So let's do segments. So that's when we're like, let's do a new segment. And then we had a guest come on, but guests were kind of far and few in between. But one day I asked, I was like, hey, anybody want to be on the Jira Life? And like, we filled up in like 2 minutes.
Yes.
We had the whole year. I was like, whoa, so I guess this is something. And then we did it again in January and like people were signing up, like they want to be on the Jira Life. So
I remember about that. I signed up for that too. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
it was nice, and I was that was during my first the Jira Life. It was really cool. It was really nice. The Peanut Gallery was asking questions, about what I did, every day,
My brother-in-law.
Yeah, exactly. That's
you
it.
now even have with somebody that's never even used Jira before in their life. They have a connection with you because of that poster.
Because of this poster, right? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's such an interesting thing.
Yeah, it's super.
I've never seen anything like it anywhere else.
Yes. It's nice. It's nice. I like it, and I appreciate what you guys are doing, with the community because it's nice. If there's somewhere that we can get together at some point, it's kind of late for me, because it's late, time zones and stuff, But yeah, whenever I can, I always try to get in, and it's super nice. And every time that I've been a guest there, it was amazing. It was really cool, and it's a sense of community, that you don't get anywhere else. So it's nice.
Appreciate it, man. Whenever you want to come on, let me know.
Thank you very much. I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there again. And hope you can say hi to Rodney and Kim Bob. Maybe what is it today? I know today's Tuesday. But on Thursday, you say hi to them. From
next week we're gonna be in person. We're all going to Phoenix.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah,
pretty
we're
good
gonna-
because of the 1 year
Yeah,
celebration.
we're gonna go to Bob's house and we're gonna do it from Bob's house.
Nice. Are you gonna do barbecue or something like that?
I don't know. Bob's
Oh.
Bob's in charge.
Okay. That's a really good
Hopefully-
idea.
hopefully tacos.
Whenever I get together with someone, I make sure that there's always a barbecue. So it's nice. It makes everything better. So, Alex, thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure to have you here, and hope that the rest of the year, congratulations on the 1 year for the Jira Live. Congratulations on your award, and it's really nice to hear you, and to hearing those insights about the Atlassian ecosystem, and Jira.
Great.
Okay?
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for thinking about me.
No. It's always a
Anytime, man. I'm happy
Cool.
to help out anytime.
Cool. Thank you very much. For you guys, see you next week. I'll leave you with the rest of the video and see you next week. So I hope that this interview was insightful, it was interesting for you again, and let's hope that we can see more from Alex. We will see more from Alex, as he just said, and hope to see you guys next week. So until next week, thank you very much for being there. Bye-bye.